Welcome everyone to this second webinar for the Smart Era first open call for pilot add-ons. Today's session, as I mentioned, will be dedicated to answering your questions, okay? So we will start with the most common questions received from applicants so far, and then we will continue with the questions raised during the open call process. And finally, we will allocate some time for your live questions. So, as I mentioned, you can already start posting them in the chat or in the Q&A dedicated session. We will have with us today Matteo Gerosa from Fondazione Bruno Kressler, Smart Era Coordinator, Antonio Filograna, and Francesca Diagresti from Engineering, Smart Era Support Program Managers, and Yolanda Moreno from Funding Box, who is the Open Call Manager. I will be reading the questions, and Yolanda, Matteo, and Antonio, and Francesca will be answering depending on the topic. So, yeah, without further delay, let's start with the most common questions. Okay, so what is Smart Era? Matteo, could you please give us a brief overview of what Smart Era is?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So first of all, I'm sorry if you hear some background noise, but I'm at the airport now and I'm about to take off, so I have 20 minutes. Sorry again, but I'm traveling from Brussels to home. So what is Smartera? Well, first of all, Smartera is an Horizon Europe project. So it's a project that has a beginning and an end. It started on January 2024 and ends in December 2027. It's an European project, Horizon Europe, with a budget of around 7 million. And 1 million is devoted to financial support to third parties, that is to involve partners outside our consortium to develop solutions for us. It's a rural project, in particular dealing with rural development, and the goal is empowering rural community and smart village to innovate for societal change. So we want to improve the life of communities living in rural areas, so their well-being, resilience to shock, and capacity to innovate. How we want to do that? By providing a set of smart solutions that can be interlinked in what we call smart innovation packages. So not just one solution or one solution per pilot. We want more than one solution that can be put together and used to tackle pressing socioeconomic and environmental challenges and promote this smart and community-led transition pathway. We have 25 partners and affiliated entities from 10 European countries, and here you see the map of our partners.
Okay, thank you, Matteo. Okay, and continuing with that, Matteo, could you explain what we mean by smart innovation packages?
Okay, so the whole core of the Smart Era idea is to go from isolated solution to what we call smart innovation packages. So what is a isolated solution? Let's say that we have a challenge like offer new mobility service. An isolated solution could be let's develop an on-demand mobility app where citizens can offer rides to other citizens. Okay, this is isolated solution. But we believe that this is not enough to answer the challenge. We believe that together with this on-demand mobility app, we need to create other elements that build on this app, that enhance the effect and the impact of this app, like incentive models, like we involve in the public administration to offer tax discount for citizens, for example, that offer these rights, or a non-technological solution like a governance model that govern the delivery of this app. Maybe this app will not be just private controlled app, but could be a co-deliver between public administration and a private entity. Also, other technological solutions like a data dashboard to understand where the service is most useful. We believe that putting together this element like the app, the incentive models, the governance model, the dashboard, we create what we call smart innovation package. It's not just a purely technological package. It's a package composed by a technological solution, non-technological solution, and business models, incentive, and policies. And we are here today because we want to look for external parties to deliver one of these pieces. So we are looking for puzzle pieces that we cannot provide, technological, of course, probably blue pieces, to put together to help us and to become elements of a smart innovation.
Okay, thank you, Matteo. Okay, and finally, before moving to the open call part, could you share which are the pilot regions participating in Smart Era?
Okay, so you see here in the PowerPoint the list of the regions. So I want to repeat this. What I want to say is that we really had a bottom-up approach. So we asked the region at the beginning of the project what were their needs, their requests, and so on, and use those needs to, let's say, think about what could be the possible solutions to those needs? What could be this smart innovation package? So we will have one package for each of these regions, for each of the pilot regions, different because the challenges are different. We go from mobility to smart tourism to the dairy chain, for example, in Italy. We identified these two challenges, one or two challenges for each of these pilot regions. Of course, this solution must be instantiated on this region. So, for example, language is important. So it's not like we can have a solution that's just in English in Bulgaria, because citizens needs to use this. So we already have data, we already have stakeholder involvement. We are just looking for external parties that can help us deliver these elements of a big whole that will be the smart innovation package.
Okay, thank you, Matteo. Now moving to the open call part, Yolanda, would you remind us what is this first open call is about?
Hello, everyone. Yes, well, this Smart Era open call that was open at the end of August is looking for, as Matteo has just explained, for solutions that complement the solutions that the project is developing in the Smart Era pilot areas. So in this open call, we are looking for projects that provide these innovative solutions for these detected gaps and required added values in the pilot regions. And these solutions should address one of the challenges that has been defined by the project consortium. The open call is, as said, now open and will be open until the 4th of November. In this QR code, you have access to the application site. It's important that you submit your application before the deadline as you have here, because at 3 p.m. Brussels time on the 4th November, the platform will be closed and you will not be able to submit after this.
Okay, Thank you, Yolanda. And what are the challenges applicants can apply to?
Well, you have here also linked to the challenges, but we have 11 challenges, 2 per pilot region, except for Smart Partner that we only have 1 challenges. The solutions the pilot regions are looking for are quite different. We have, for example, for Val di Sole in Italy, one system for tracing agri-food production and one system for pasture ecosystem monitoring. For Soler Tramuntana in Mallorca in Spain, they are in need of our AI chatbot for touristic experience and also an AI tool for microfarming management. Challenge 5 and 6 that are from Northern Ostrobornia are looking for one smart economy service platform and also for AI assist rural business based on deep local knowledge. For Eastern-Herzegovina, we are looking for a smart B2B platform for the agrotourist sector and also for a smart platform for tourism experience. In Smart Partner, we are looking for a mobile app for mobility on demand. And in the Betaki Plateau, they are looking for a AI general practitioner support system and also a map-based digital platform for tourist information. If you go through the application site and this QR code, you will have some general information about these challenges, and also in the guide for applicants, you will find all the requirements, both mandatory and preferential, that the consortium has defined for these challenges.
Okay, thank you, Yolanda. Next slide, please. Okay, finally, where can applicants find all this information?
Well, as said, here you have the link to the application site. Here you have the main information, and you have all the documents you need to check before applying. It's really important that all applicants read the guide for applicants in detail, check all the eligibility criteria, all the requirements. You also have here application form facsimile if you want to check the questions that will be asked to you during the application. You have here the subgrant agreement template that is the agreement that will be signed with the selected beneficiaries and the Smartira consortium. You have also the previous webinar recording and later the recording of this webinar and all the information about the challenges. So please, also you can find here the frequently asked questions document that has just been updated today with all the questions we have received from applicants during the time that the open call has been open. So here you have all the information you need before applying. But also, as said, it's really important that you go through the guide for applicants. This guide is the legal basis of the open call, and it contains all the detailed information you need to know before the application process. So you have here the scope of the open call, eligibility criteria, the solutions that will be supported, how to submit the application, and also what is coming later, how the proposals will be evaluated and how we will communicate with the applicants. So please read this, and with this you will have all the information you need to apply.
Perfect. Thank you, Yolanda. I think now we can move to the questions we received during the open call. The first one is what exactly is expected to be open source? Is it the full solution or only part of it? Very related with this, what exactly do we mean by open source? Do you require data sharing, or are there specific AI models considered non-compliant with Smart Era principles? Antonio, perhaps you could take this one.
Yes, of course. Thanks a lot for the question, because I think also I saw in the chat other question regarding open source. Maybe we can answer to them also with this question. So for regarding the open source, for sure, we need that the data generated will be open source in terms that the data will be published in the Smartera data platform, and probably we can connect our data platform with the European data portal, and so the data set will be published also in the European data portal. Regarding the application and the solution, the digital solution you are going to develop, it's better that the solution should be open source. We will take into account during the evaluation, but it is not mandatory. That's the first things. Regarding the AI models, we don't have any restriction on the AI models, so don't have anything to say about that.
Okay, thank you, Antonio. Next slide, please. Okay, so this next question is, what is TRL, and which TRL will my solution have to be eligible? Antonio, maybe you can explain
Yes,
this as well.
The TRL is the technology readiness level, and assess the maturity level of the technology or the solution itself. So for the applicants and the solution, the digital solution they provide, we need to go starting from a TRL 4 to a final, at least it's important, TRL 6. So the TRL 6, as you can see in the slide, is the technology demonstrated in the relevant environment. If it is more than 6, it's better, but not below 6.
Okay, thank you. So another frequent questions are about eligibility. So who can participate in this open call? Yolanda, perhaps you can clarify a little bit this point.
Okay, it's important to know that to apply to this open call, you should apply as a legal entity registered in one of the eligible countries. So you cannot apply as natural persons, but any kind of organizations can apply. This is SMEs, startups, research centers, universities, all of them are able to apply. It's important that these entities are legally registered on the day of application in one of the member states of the European Union or the other countries that are associated to Horizon Europe. In the guide for applicants, you have a link to the list of countries that are associated to the Horizon Europe program. And also it's important to know that if your company is an affiliated entity of one of the Smartira consortium partners, you are not able to apply to this open call.
Okay, thank you, Yolanda. So some applicants have also asked whether Smartira partners can help prepare proposal, or if they can meet local stakeholders, where there might be an opportunity to visit the area to gain first-hand insights into the challenges and context. Yolanda, could you clarify that?
Okay. No, project partners cannot help you in writing the application. We try to have a fair application and evaluation process that is the same for all the applicants. So it's not possible to schedule calls or meeting with the pilot owners to ask your questions. You can send all your questions to our helpdesk or post them in the Discord channel that you can access through the SmartIA community. And we will ask the technical partners if necessary, or we will answer if we already know the answer. But all the questions are accessible to all the applicants, and we try to have this fair process for everyone.
Thank you, Yolanda. Another recurring question is, can the SME apply to more than one challenge?
Yes, according to the guide for applicants, applicants to this open call are permitted to submit a maximum of 2 proposals, with the condition that these 2 proposals, each of them address a different challenge. So this means if you submit 2 proposals, but both proposals are for the same challenge, only the last one submitted will be evaluated. If you submit 2 proposals to 2 different challenges, both proposals will be evaluated, but as a company or organization can be founded by SmartIA only once, only the best ranked proposal finally could be selected as beneficiary of the open call. Okay. So if you have 2 proposals that get to the last stage of the evaluation process, and one of them is ranked first for one of the challenges and second for the other challenge, only the better ranked will be finally funded by the project.
Okay, thank you, Yolanda. Okay, so can I subcontract part of the work to be done if I am selected in the open call?
Well, subcontracting is allowed in these kind of projects, but only up to 15% of the total cost, and only for tasks that are not the main task or the more important task inside the project. So what is important for you to know is that each case will be assessed individually during the first stage of the support program when developing the individual mentoring plan. Beneficiaries will need also to include an indicative budget of the project, and in this budget, if there is something that needs to be subcontracted, will be discussed with the mentors. And we will see if it's possible to subcontract that part of the project.
Okay, thank you, Yolanda. Okay, so I think now it's your turn. So we'll go through the questions you are writing in the chat. I think we have already some of them, so let me check. Okay, so we are agro-budget system from Serbia, and our question is whether for challenge number 5, pilot region, Northern Ostrobonia, Finland, challenge name, Smart Economy Service Platform, can we also apply, or are any only solutions coming from Finland preferred?
Well, as said before, I think Matteo mentioned it at the beginning, everyone registered in one of the eligible countries can apply. All proposals are welcome, but of course, maybe knowing the pilot region, knowing the language is an advantage at the time of present the proposal, and especially if the pre-scoring stage of evaluation is needed, knowing the language of the region and being located close to the region or have previous relation is one of the things that gives more points to the proposals.
Okay, will be able to consult PPTs and recordings? I think the answer is yes.
Yes, it will be sent to all the participants after the webinar, probably next week, and also you will have the recording in the application site.
A very similar question again regarding language. From my understanding, the language used in the pilots plays a crucial role. Do the partners need to have a business presence in the country where the pilot takes place? Or is that not a strict requirement?
Well, as said before, it's not a strict requirement, it's an advantage that the companies of the region have.
Perfect. I have a couple of questions. First, it is possible to apply in consortium of 2 companies for this call. And the second one, should the solution we will develop become open source? Regarding the first one, Yolanda, perhaps you can take
the first one, the answer is no. This open call is open only to individual entities, not to consortium of entities. And the second one, maybe Antonio, if you want to take the floor.
Yes, the solution. The solution is up to you. As I said before, the solution you are developing, it's important for us to be open source, and this is evaluated during the evaluation of each application. So according to your license, for us, it's better to have open source solution. And this will be taken into account during the evaluation.
Perfect. Thank you, Antonio. Which kind of connection will be appropriate between B2B and B2C platform for the agro-tourism sector is Herzegovina? We plan to use Web API. In order to synchronize those 2 platforms, we need to have bi-directional connection. We think the best way for that is to use a Web API.
So I think that integrating the 2 platforms through REST APIs should be the most reliable and scalable solution, and for bi-directional communication. So as suggestion, it's better to use a REST API, because this is more or less now the standard that everybody uses during for the integration.
Okay, thank you, Antonio. I have an existing platform that we will further develop to meet the challenges needs. I noticed that according to the guide, IPR remains with the applicant. Could you please clarify whether this also covers the new features or modules developed within the project? In other words, will I keep full ownership of the modified version, and will Smart Era or its partners have any usage rights to it beyond the project duration?
Yes, the intellectual property rights always remain with the applicant, always remain with them, also with the new features or modules developed. In the application form, you are asked to propose the estimated cost of maintaining the solution for 2 years after finalizing the project. This is all. It's not it's your solution, it's your project, and it's yours. It's not a Smart Era solution.
Thank you, Yolanda. Good morning. First question, is the knowledge of local languages a hard requirement for the participants, even considering that we proposed solution will be implemented in the local languages? I think we already addressed this question. And the second, what is the depth of the technical details of the solution that is needed in the proposal? There is no dedicated section for this, but I suppose technical details should be mentioned at some point.
Yes, when
Yes.
you, well, Antonio, go ahead, please.
No, just to say that during the description of your solution, it's important to have the logical architecture of your solution and how this can be connected with the Smart Era data. What kind of technologies you are using, and it's important to have the data input and the data in output of your solution. Because as we said, we will provide you with the data platform, and this data platform will be used in order to exchange data. So it's important for us to know the data input and data output if your data following some standards, some data models, and so on.
Yes.
Okay.
So Yolanda, the floor is yours.
Thank you. And yeah, when filling the application form, you will have in the excellence section, in the implementation section, you will need to explain how your technology and explains details about your technology, how this technology is contributing to solve the challenge. So it's here where you need to include all the details.
Okay. Is the statement of data accuracy filled out in this application round, or is a subsequent one? If it is in this round, where can it be found and where should it be submitted?
Well, at the end of the application form, I think is last section, you have the declaration of honor where you should state that all the information included in the proposal is truth and you have the right to make this proposal. So I think this refers to this part of the application. It's the last section.
Perfect. It's possible to apply to multiple challenges. I think this was already addressed.
Yes.
In terms of evaluation score and selection criteria, how relevant are issues? Oh, I lost it. In terms of evaluation score and selection criteria, how relevant are issues related to the teen gender balance percentage, applicants' relation with the pilot region or of the selected challenge, usage of open source AI models, and/or apps with free or usable licenses that are aligned with Smart Era principles and/or open API approach.
Well, sorry, because I don't remember by heart all the data, but if you go to the guide for applicants, for each stage of the evaluation, you have the evaluation criteria. For example, the percentage for the pre-scoring stage or in the experts evaluation stage, each section, excellent, impact, and implementation has the same weight. And there you have which of these criteria is included. For example, if gender balance is included in the implementation stage. And also you have the criteria for tie solving in case of ties during the evaluation.
Is there a specific template for the proposal itself?
Yeah, you need to fill in the application form in the system. Only proposals sent through the application form are accepted to this open call.
We would like to lean on the challenge 3 primarily. Question 1, we were wondering the details of the individual mentoring plan. What is expected from us within this 2 months period to predetermine the budget allocation and hours dedicated to the process? How many people expected to join the mentoring from our team? Should we expect travels to the region with the challenge?
Okay. The first part of the support program will be the development of the individual mentoring plan. For this, you will have the support of the mentors from the project. Yes, you will need to determine the budget and estimate the allocation of hours. How many people are expected to join the program? That's up to you. You need to fill in the application form, in the implementation part, the resources session, how many people will be involved in the project and how. And for the travels, it depends on the challenge. In the requirements of each challenge, you have if travel to the pilot region is mandatory. But I will say that for those challenges where the travel is mandatory, is in the second stage of the support program where this will be required, for example, to demonstrate the solution to the stakeholders or to give some training to the final users. But that is for each challenge is different, and you have everything in the guide for applicants.
Okay, second question from Fundación Plaza de Castilla. Even though we are from Spain, of course, being from Suller Tramuntana is a different experience. Can we plan contact the PA and stakeholder contact in the first month of the implementation? Or would you prefer sharing your experience in the field with us to design needs-based solution?
Well, if you are selected to solve this challenge, you will have contact with the pilot owners from the beginning, and the pilot owners will put you in contact with the stakeholders and also help you with their experience to solve the challenge.
Also related to challenge 3, the last question is, to be in the same page, can you give a bit more detail about the data standardization and harmonization stage?
So we provided you with an annex regarding the Smart Era interoperability integration methodology. So there you can find all the information about the standardization and the harmonization, and with some example, but with the phases we should follow in order to be confident.
Okay. Next question. We are from Cyprus, language Greek, and we are planning to apply for the Bulgarian pilot. Is it okay to subcontract a Bulgarian company dash individual to help us with the language translations?
Yes, you can do that because translation will not be considered like one of the main tasks of the solution or of the project. So you will be able to hire a translator to help you with that.
And a second question related with this, we found a document that is called Smart Era First Open Call for Pilots Add-ons application form. Are those all the fields we need to complete, or there are more details needed that are not included in that document?
Well, those are all the fields you need to complete. But for example, in the ethics section, if you click yes in one of the questions, you will have to include later more details about why you included this yes. So, but more or less, those are the questions, and you can go click the apply now button, and you will see the full application form.
If there is a community Discord where we find the invitation to join the server.
Okay, you have it in the about the Smart Era section of the guide for applicants, but also I will ask my colleague Anna to paste it in the chat now. And okay, thanks so much, Anna. So there you have it.
Thank you, Anna and Johnny. Regarding challenge 2, do the participants need to bring data, or we can entirely use data provided by the Smart Era and the pilot?
Sorry, I'm not completely sure now about this one, but I think that for this challenge, it will be both. You will have data provided by the pilot owner and the stakeholders, and also you will need to collect some more data.
Should the maintenance budget be included in the proposed budget, or is it something separate?
This is separate. You have the 60K budget for the 9 months development of the project, and then also in the application form, you are asked to include estimated budget for the 2 years of maintenance of the solution.
Perfect. We have an app already in the market and we want to develop further modules. Only the new developed modules and algorithms should be open source or the entire application. In this case, how we can evaluate the starting and final TRL.
So regarding this, Yolanda, in case, correct me if I'm wrong, only the new models or algorithms that will be developed within the project needs to be open source, not the entire application, because the previous application is your own application. And the idea is to make the results provided during the project accessible, and not in a proprietary way. Regarding the TRL, instead, the TRL should be evaluated for the entire solution. So, and also, so this means that if you have your solution already in the market, so as TRL9, and you add some functionalities to this solution, and these functionalities should be tested and so on in not real cases, in not the commercial environment, the solution that we have as TRL9 goes below and take into account the merge of these new functionalities. You have to provide a TRL for this new solution.
Thank you, Antonio. We would like to set up a mock-up solution for the B2B site. Where should it be submitted and what format is it acceptable?
Okay, proposals are only accepted through the application site and the established application form, and there you have to explain and describe the project you are proposing to solve the challenge.
The last question in the chat is, so one participant is awarded per challenge. I think we already addressed this. I don't know if you want to comment.
Yes, only one proposal per challenge will be finally selected, as the project only needs one solution for each of the challenges. And I think
there are no, we have another one from Joe Babik. There are no upload field, just explanation by words. I think it's referring to the application form.
To the application form. Yeah, you have to explain what is your proposed solution and how you will do it, but you do not need to upload a mockup at this stage. The 3 best ranked proposals per challenge will be invited to the final pitching days, and here, if there is a mockup, they will be able to present it.
From the Q&A session, we have some additional questions. So I have doubts regarding the budget and cost categories. Could you please indicate the funding rate / budget limit and the possible cost categories to include in the budget?
Being this an Horizon Europe funded project, the cost categories are personal cost, purchase and travel, and subcontracting, and also overheads. But we will include this in the frequently asked questions document with all the categories for you to check.
I don't see any further new questions. Yes, we have in the chat a new one. If we want to address challenge 5, with a very strong payments options, multiple options also in remote rural areas, is that approach going to be highly valued for the challenge, or we will need to also plan offering complex catalog listings?
Sorry, I don't think we can answer this question now. So if you would like to send it to the help desk, and we can share it with the pilot owners and send you an answer back.
Okay, so we don't have any additional new questions. Is there any other questions you may have? Yes, so there is a limit of budget to present within the proposal, or the budget has to be 60,000 euros. It is not clear for me if the funding rate is 100%.
The funding rate is 100%, but if your budget is over 60K, Smartera will not be able to fund you with more than this amount. And this is a lump sum project, so we understand that you should present this budget around this 60K.
Okay, is there any other additional question? I will encourage you to submit it. Take advantage of the presence of Yolanda, Antonio, and Francesca.
Yes, I'm reading the following question. Can the budget be greater than 60K, assuming the rest on ourselves? Yes, it's perfectly possible.
Thank you.
Maybe there is another question in the question and answer. I don't know if we already replied. We
I
found
think
the
we
document
already
that is called.
replied.
Okay.
Yes, we already replied this one. Also the first one for the entity planning to apply to the Bulgarian pilot regarding the subcontraction of the language support. We have 2 extra questions here in the chat. Who covers the cost for the monitoring of the solutions, the 2 years mentioned?
Well, you as applicant should make this proposal of estimated budget for the maintenance of the solutions during 2 years, and if possible and accepted by the pilot owners, stakeholders, they will try to find a way to cover this cost through the stakeholders of the region.
Would you please clarify what type of documents are required to validate the participation and experience in related or rural projects? For example, do you expect official certificates, signed contracts, or will short project descriptions be sufficient as evidence?
Yeah, a document including the list of projects, your description, a couple of links to relevant sites is enough to demonstrate the participation in these projects. You don't need nothing official, nothing certificate, as you will be later be declaring in the declaration of honor that everything that is included in the application form is true.
Thank you. Is there any other additional question? It seems we don't.
Okay, so I think we can close here. Antonio, Francesca, Matteo has left. Thanks so much for being here and helping us answering all these questions. And to all the attendants, thank you so much for being here. Please go to the application site and apply to this open call.
Submit.
Submit. We are wishing to have all your applications, and best of luck.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the applicants.
Thank
Thank you all.
Thanks so
Thank
much.
you, Yolanda. Thank you,
you
guys.
all.
Thank
Thank
you.
you all for
Goodbye.
joining in session.